All right, in this question, there's a mock election at the school, and there are 250 votes in the mock election. There are 4 candidates. The candidates received 10/50ths of the vote. The next candidate got 9/25ths of the votes. Candidate 3, 4/10ths of the votes. And the last candidate, 5/125ths of the votes. We have to put these candidates in order from least to greatest according to the votes that they would get in this mock election. So the big idea is proportional reasoning, and we're going to use the skill of equivalent fractions to display that proportional reasoning. For example, for the first candidate, we know that that candidate got 10/50ths of the vote, but what we'd like to know is how many votes would we expect out of 250, since in the word problem there are 250 total votes. All right, so we could use proportional reasoning to scale up. Remember, we did scaling up and scaling down in our previous problem. So what number would we multiply by 50 to scale up to 250? 50 times 5 is 250, so we could scale this up by multiplying by 5. So that would be 50 votes out of 250. So 10 votes out of 50 is equivalent to 50 votes out of 250. Now we're going to do the same thing for all the other candidates. We're going to scale these up to find out how many votes would it be out of 250, but all the time keeping it equivalent to the original fraction. How many votes out of 250? Keeping it equivalent, how many would we expect out of 250? So every single one of these candidates, we're going to scale that fraction up to something out of 250. So in this one, it would be 25 times 10 is 250. Multiply the numerator by 10, we would expect 90 votes. 10 times 25 is 250. So multiply the numerator by 25. This candidate received 100 votes. And what do you multiply by 125 to make it 250? We would double it, scale it up by a factor of 2, multiply by 2. That would be 10 votes out of 250. All right, so we're scaling up for each of these, doing proportional reasoning with equivalent fractions. So now, and from least to greatest, we could see that this candidate here only received 10 votes. So candidate 4 is the least. After candidate 4, the next one is 50 votes. Candidate 1. The third number is going to be 90 out of 250. That would be candidate 2. And the one receiving the most votes was 100 votes. That was candidate 3. We're looking for that answer right there. So again, that's all with proportional reasoning, scaling up like we've done in previous problems, and making equivalent fractions by multiplying the denominator by the exact same thing that we multiply by the numerator.